Mark Rogers TV talking Pac-12 football, and we're looking at the top five at each position in the conference. We're looking at the running back position with a whole bunch of talent coming back. I've got Don King from Last Word on Sports and also Shane Roberts from Block U on the SB Nation platform for Utah Athletics to help me out, and we will all rank our top five. So, Don, we're going to kick it to you first. Who are the top five in the Pac-12?
All right, running back, this position is loaded this season, I think. Number one, I've got Devontae Booker from Utah, whose self-stated goals this season are to run for 2,000 yards and to win the Heisman Trophy. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not betting against him on either. That kid is a full-grown man, and he is going to make it awfully tough on Pac-12 defenses this season. Not to mention a Big Ten defense and Mays and Gold, who comes to the altitude and out there in Utah. He honestly, if Miles Jack isn't the best football player in the Pac-12 this season, Devontae Booker will, barring injury or other incredibly unforeseen circumstance. The kid's a stud. Number two, I've got Paul Perkins at UCLA. Comes back off a campaign that was incredibly strong last year that nobody realized was as good as it was because everybody was watching and paying attention to Brett Hundley. Number three, Nick Wilson at Arizona. Love his style, love his gameness, love his toughness. I think he is a more complete back than he's been given credit for. Really strong player as well. Number four, I've got Royce Freeman at Oregon. Had a very solid freshman year last year. Big kid, good feet, good speed. Think he figures to star and step up very quickly again. And number five, Daniel Lasco at Cal. Was largely kind of regarded as a short yardage back. Showed some flashes of speed that I didn't previously understand that he possessed, and I think he's going to have a very solid season this coming season as well. So those are my top five.
Okay, Don, so you like Devontae Booker out of Utah at number one, Nick Wilson number two, Paul Perkins, UCLA at three, correct?
No, I had Perkins at two and Wilson at three.
Gotcha. Perkins at two, Wilson at three. Royce Freeman, just a freshman last year from Oregon, and Lasco at number five. All right, Shane, how's your top five stack up against Don's?
Well, Don and I almost pick for pick minus one are almost exactly the same. Number one, I'm going with my guy, Devontae Booker. The dude is an absolute beast. That's actually what we call him. We call him the Beast. One stat that has been circulating around Salt Lake City, I'm not sure if it's went out, but after contact last year, he had 800 yards after contact. So he does not go down. He very rarely loses yards. Not only that, he's a great back out of the backfield in terms of catching the ball. He has great hands. So he's very versatile. Probably his biggest weakness is pass protection, but in terms of running back, but he knew where the ball was going, and he still got his yards no matter what. Stack the box, and he was going to get it no matter what. Number two, I got Paul Perkins from UCLA. The guy was a stud all year long. Him and Brett Hundley were a very good 1-2 combination. I think a lot of people probably didn't realize he actually led the Pac-12 in rushing. That was probably one of those stats that a lot of people could have probably easily overlooked. But there he was all season long, just averaging 6 yards per carry. It'll be interesting to see what happens with a new quarterback, with Hundley taking a lot of pressure off of him. But the dude averaged 6 yards a carry. That's nothing to scoff at. Number three, Nick Wilson of Arizona. I'm still having nightmares of him running up down the field at Rice-Eccles Stadium because he torched my guys. Very rarely does a running back get off against Utah, but for some reason, Rich Rod's running backs do that against my Utes. But Nick Wilson, he's young, he's fast, he's shifty. He's fun to watch. He's a great back. Number four, Royce Freeman out of Oregon. He's a different back than Oregon's had for a few years. He's a bigger dude. He will truck stick a guy and just run him over. A lot of people think of LaMichael James and D'Anthony Thomas. Those guys, the smaller guys. This is a bigger dude, and he's a different back than Oregon's had for a little while. I'm a big fan of Royce Freeman. And my fifth guy is actually, I went a little bit off the radar just based off of production of 2 seasons ago, but I really like Storm Woods up at Oregon State. He had a really good 2013 campaign. 2014 he dipped off due to a lot of reasons, injury, and Oregon State was just kind of a mess last year. But I've been a big fan of Storm Woods ever since he's been up in Corvallis. So that would probably round out my top 5 for running backs.
That's a good point, Shane. I was looking at the rushing leaders in the Pac-12, and I ran across Storm Woods, and I had completely forgot. He had been completely off my radar since 2013, and like you say, was nicked up, and they had some issues there in Corvallis last year, but Storm Woods, keep an eye out for him coming back and bouncing back here in 2015. So here's my list. A little bit off the beaten path. I've mixed a few people up, but it's basically the same top 5 as Don has, actually, with Lasco, just based on sheer performance. I'm not going to say that I watched a whole lot of Cal, saw the end of the USC game when they made a furious comeback to almost upset the Trojans, and then there was also the game against UCLA where I was very surprised that they hung like 36 on the board against UCLA, and that went down to the wire. Devontae Booker. So I need to see Devontae Booker play a full football game. This is what this tells me right here. Both of you guys have him at number 1. I had him at number 4 because I saw a whole lot more out of the other 3 guys because of the magnitude of the games down the stretch, and that probably skews my thinking. So I got to see Booker because he's a beast. All right, 5 yards per carry, 5.2, 10 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. But Shane brings up an excellent stat. When you're rushing more than 55% of your yardage after contact, got to see Devontae Booker.
Yeah, most of those were in about 8 or 9 games. He didn't start the first 3 games of the season.
Wow. So, yes. Now, you're going to be able to recognize the names of the top 3 and the performances of the teams. Again, me being the national guy that tries to watch everybody, I saw these guys play a lot more because their teams played very significant games down the stretch. Paul Perkins, UCLA. Even though he led the Pac-12 in rushing, very solid back, 6.3 per carry, 1,575 yards. But the other 2 guys impressed me a little bit more. In Nick Wilson, just a freshman at Arizona, had a very productive campaign, 16 touchdowns, almost 1,400 yards rushing. And Shane mentions the trip to Utah and him running wild over the Utes, and that costing me a few dollars along the way. I remember that one well. And at number 1, I really like Royce Freeman just as a freshman, and I love the combo, as Shane mentioned, of size and just sheer strength with the excellent speed that you see in the Oregon attack. To take a guy like Byron Marshall, who ran for 1,000 yards, and basically say, you're going to be a wide receiver, you're going to run out of the slot and catch 74 passes because this guy is this good as a freshman. Then they also had Thomas Tyner, and he pushed him out of the way as well. Royce Freeman becomes, in my opinion, the best running back in the Pac-12, 5th in the league in rushing, and 18 rushing touchdowns, and everybody scores for Oregon, but still, that's an eye-popping number. So that's my top 5 coming into the Pac-12, but as Don mentioned off the top, this position is loaded for the Pac-12. Gentlemen, thanks for the top 5. Appreciate it. Maybe any dark horses out there? Anybody? I know Don's got somebody off the top 5 that he may want to mention here.
You know I do. This goes to the point that Shane mentioned in another video we did, because we haven't seen it over a full season with a full workload. But Christian McCaffrey is going to be the first running back to get a carry for Stanford this season. The kid can fly. Scored on his first touch as a true freshman last year in the season opener. I think he's going to be the feature back, being backed up by Barry J. Sanders and some other folks chipping in to contribute in short yardage. But look out for McCaffrey. He could sneak into this top 5 before the season finishes, if he could get enough carries, given the platoon kind of effect that has been employed on the farm, for the last season or so.
Anybody off the radar, Shane?
Oh, nobody comes directly to mind, but just watch out for whoever USC throws out in the field. I mean, they have just a litany of blue chippers just waiting to get on the field. So
Yeah.
pretty much just grab somebody out of their backfield and call it. McCaffrey's a great call from Stanford. He was a nightmare in the Utah game. They couldn't bring him down to save his life. He's just shifty. I mean, it's kind of the stereotypical thing you get for, white dudes playing football, but he's deceivingly fast. He's very quick, and it's just one of those things to where, and the way Stanford runs the ball, I think that's a very good call.
There you have it. Buck Allen gone to the NFL along with DJ Foster from Arizona State, but as has been mentioned, most of the great running backs coming back in the Pac-12. So a pass-dominated conference could be balanced out considerably by the efforts of these top five. And before I sign off, Mike slips in here. So we got Mike WR from Gojo Bruin. So, Mike, if you can hear me.
Oh, how you doing, Mark? Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm late.
It's fine. Hey, no problem, Mike. When you let us know that you're 5 minutes away from home, we understand in Southern California that's more like 45 minutes is the conversion rate.
Yeah.
So, Mike, we've run down each of us our top 5 running backs in the Pac-12. So we would love to hear how you run down the top 5.
I may sound a little biased here, but obviously number one for me is Paul Perkins. I mean, you can't go wrong with the number one leading rusher in the nation. But at the same time, DJ Foster out of Arizona State. I mean, that kid is phenomenal, and I think he's going to be one of the guys that challenges Perkins for the top running back. Now, as far as the rest the rest of the conference, there's so many guys. I'm blanking on the guy out of Utah right now, but
Devontae Booker.
There you go. Yeah, that kid is a bowling ball who's just gonna smash people left and right. So I mean, those are obvious choices. As for the other two, it seems like a grab bag. USC has a couple guys, but they lost their running back from last year, who was the number 2 running back. But right now, I see Perkins and Foster as the top 2. So I mean, I just think that they're gonna do fantastic things.
So, Mike, your boy Perkins got shot down to numbers 2 and number 3 and 3 by the rest of the panel here. Devontae Booker out of Utah was the choice for those two, Shane and Don. For myself, it was Royce Freeman out of Oregon for our top 5. So thanks for jumping in. We're going to bring you back to attack the wide receiver core. How's that sound?
Excellent. That sounds fantastic.
All right. We'll talk to you all soon.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.